Well, hello again. It's July 27th of 2025 and I'm here in eastern Slovakia, less than a kilometer from the border to Ukraine. What am I doing here? It's a question that I heard a couple of times the last 2 days cycling in Slovakia. And well, I'm heading to Ukraine, as you probably have guessed already. The plan is to cycle through Zakarpattia, which is the very west of the country. It's gonna be about 200 kilometers, maybe a bit more. And the final destination is Przemyśl in Poland. And the plan for today is to cycle to a city of Uzhhorod, which is about 20 kilometers behind the border. Actually, I was about to cross directly to Uzhhorod, but then I found out, thanks to my friend Anya, that actually that border crossing is just for cars and trucks. So you are not able to cross if you are by bicycle or just by foot. Oh, I'm a little bit nervous, I have to say, because at the end I'm going to a country where war is going on. I keep telling myself that that's supposed to be one of the safest regions in Ukraine, and I really believe that, seeing it through the eyes of a cyclist, meeting people there, enjoying nature, it's very much worth it. Dobry dzień. Nie mam. So, let's go. Bye, Slovakia. Dziękuję. It is such a tiny border crossing. Oh, it's quite a relief. I was a bit stressed, I don't know, because I was so excited. I forgot to buy a health insurance, which is supposed to be mandatory if you want to go to Ukraine. And I just forgot. But they didn't care much, and it all went very quickly, maybe 5 minutes maximum. And they were all either nice or just didn't care much, so perfect. Yes, I'm in Ukraine. Wow, less than 100 meters from the border, and here it starts already. Look at the beautiful bus stop. I love that mosaic style. My first impressions on Ukraine are pretty positive. It feels calmer, it's greener, I would say. It's also quite abandoned, like there are a lot of empty houses. Also the gypsies are gone. I'm sorry to say it, but I already felt a bit uncomfortable at some point, especially when I was passing by a group of children. And you cannot tell it from the video, but they were actually following me and touching my pannier bags, so that was less cool. The downside would be definitely the roads. Oh my god, some of them have so many holes that you have to ride in a zigzag. But all in all, I'm really glad to be here. The other thing that I forgot was to check the accommodation in Uzhhorod. And now I don't have internet, so I don't know, probably I will just ask around. Okay, I finally left Uzhhorod, and I say finally because I spent more time there than I planned. Because yesterday.
Так, są takie.
Yesterday I had some things to buy and some things to manage before I could continue the trip. And then I thought, what's wrong with that clock? Why does it show 3:30? No, 4:30, I think. Ooh, yeah! I love these kinds of little grocery shops in the villages, and there are a lot of them in Ukraine. Let's check it out. Добрий день.
Добрий день.
Хліб є?
Є.
А є просто маленькі булочки?
Пусті без шутку.
Пусті,
Таких не є в нас.
А такі
Маленьких
є,
нема.
а така цілойка то є. То є без усього.
Великі.
Ну, велика, так.
Не бачу. Ви, може, знаєте, де. Я без очку не бачу.
Включити можеш, то ще треба вставити ціну.
Ціну і кулько швидко спіши.
Не може вам помочи ніч. Ну, в принципі, то десь 4-5 буде пів кілограма.
То не буде пів кіла.
Пів кілограма. То буде 15 гривень.
15? No, okay. I've just arrived to Dobrynnichi. There is a place I'd like to check out. I was actually very glad to spend the night there yesterday. But okay, let's not talk about it anymore. It's also marked as a museum on the map, so I'm very curious what kind of place it is. It seems that nobody's at home, which is a pity and a bit painful for such a FOMO person as myself, because that night in Uzhhorod yesterday was really not the best I had, and I'm pretty sure that a night here would be something very special. Okay, maybe it was meant to be that way, but if you happen to make your bicycle tour here in that area, definitely stop by. It's called Dobra Noc. It's a hostel, so you pay for a bed, but I guess you probably have an entire place for yourself because there are not that many travelers here at the moment.
жовтім піску росте деревце, тонке, високе, високе, тонке, корінь глибоке, корінь глибоке, листом широке.
it's about 2 hours before sunset, and I start wondering how it's going to work with wild camping, because on one side of the street there is this pretty steep slope with a not very inviting forest, and then directly on the other side river. Yeah, it looked better on the satellite pictures. That problem was soon solved, as I got invited into the home of some local people. I actually only asked them for a safe place to put my tent, but in the end I got an entire room for myself. What a luxury! Ukrainians are honestly such kind and helpful people.
Полагайте, можете, доста вам буде. Ці розклади.
Tutaj dla mnie?
Я вам постелю.
Hello! On the third day cycling in Ukraine, I keep following the Ush river. You can't see it, but maybe you can hear it. Starting from Uzhhorod, the road takes you gradually up the hill, but today at some point it's gonna be pretty steep. Oh yes, I had a pretty serious climb ahead of me. But for now, I could enjoy the next 20 kilometers, soaking in the idyllic landscapes and the sounds of the Zakarpattia villages. Dobry dzień. And of course, after those 20 kilometers, I deserved a second breakfast. Check out this epic soup. It's called borscht, and its main ingredients is beets, while the rest depends on what the cook throws in. You've probably heard of this soup if you visited other Slavic countries. The Ukrainian version I had was absolutely delicious.
Viter wieje, powiewaje, a zamroczok zakiwaje. Viter wieje, powiewaje, a zamroczok zakiwaje.
I managed to hitch a ride, which saved me probably about 2 hours, because it's nearly 500 meters of climbing in just 6 kilometers, so you can imagine how steep it is. Honestly, I never regret hitchhiking when I travel by bicycle, because some parts of the road are just pain in the ass. So why not speeding up a bit? So from now on, there will be a lot of downhill rides. Still, it will be pretty hilly. But now I reached the highest point of my entire trip in Ukraine, so yeah, it's gonna be fun. And so, we've come to the end of the first part of my little cycling journey through Western Ukraine. In the following days, I will head off the beaten path to discover some hidden villages with pretty bad roads but incredibly kind people, as well as the stunning landscapes of the Carpathian Mountains in Ukraine. So I warmly invite you to watch the next episode. And thank you very much for being here with me on my very first YouTube video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!